Hi friends, I got a new project I got to work on, and I picked out this stick, and it's a blue wood dowel, and I like the grain in it, and it has a couple different features I like in it. But this is for a person. Her name's Robin, and she has a walker. I was told by the person that wants this, she has a walker and some canes, and she wanted to buy her a walking stick through some Amish people, but she says they're way expensive and everything. And I was like, I felt kind of bad for her. I was like, you know, she got trying to buy her mom a walking stick, but they costed too much. So I have this is the name I'm gonna put on it, because I like that text. That works pretty good. And I'm gonna try something different with this. The twist I usually put in it, the flute you can call it, I'm thinking doing some design in between it that I haven't done before. I got a couple of different new bits I'm going to try and see how this turns out. So let's get on to the next process and figure out how to get this done. Hey everyone, I'm just working on the flute or twist that goes down the length of it, and I use my one this is a wood disc. It's for cutting wood. It works really well. I put it in here and I measured out so far how far I wanted to go out, how wide I wanted to make the flute, and the disc will show me. I can see how deep I'm going, so every one is the same depth. So then I'm going back with my sanding drum, and I'm sanding that out so I make it even all the way down. So it's just usually I just sand it and just eyeball it, but this one I'm gonna try with this, and just to see if it comes out a little bit better. But it's time consuming, but it goes quick. Every once in a while you have to change the drums on it, but it works quite well. Just don't turn it up too fast. Just slowly work at it. You don't have to get it perfect, because you'll finish that off when you hand sand it. When you hand sand it, you'll get more. You can shape it a little bit better. Just get it as close as you can now. It's a slow process. You just keep going at it. You can't really mess it up, so this is all I do. When I get it down so deep, then I'll start going side to side to get it as wide as I need it. I think this is 60 or 80 grit, the wheel. I'll go back a couple of different times and do the final shaping of it. But that's how I do it. Hi friends, I have to talk about something. I had to start that stick all over again. I had to go out and buy a new one. The girl that I'm making it for, the lady I'm making it for, her daughter, I went to her and I asked her, I was like, how is this okay for the right height? Because the lady's 4'9", and I wanted to get the right height, and she said it was kind of too short, so she wanted it a little higher. And when I went to put the flute up through, it was, and I sanded it in, it just looked like it was off compared to the other ones. So I made a whole new one, and I had to go back and put it on there and sand it. This is what I have now. This is the design I'm putting in here. And I printed out a couple of different, I looked online for a couple of different patterns and stuff, and I said this one would be pretty nice to put in between. And I printed out a bunch of them, and I turned them back and forth so it's not the same pattern going the same way. And I had a couple of people explain to me this is a tattoo artist would use certain paper, and I was in such a hurry, I just have to do it like this. What I do is I print it out and I put carbon paper behind it, and I trace it, and I just rub in where I want to where I either carve out or leave high, or carve around. And that's what this is what I'm going to come up with. I took off this part here, so I have to carve around all of these the flowers and stuff and the vines. And this, I'm up to here. It took about an hour and 15 minutes just to pencil all this in, and I'm afraid this is going to rub off, so I'm going to have to wrap that up really good, because as I'm working with it and everything. And I'm very careful up here, don't bump it on anything, because you'll leave marks, you know, naturally. So, and I got her name, I don't know if you can catch that, or, yeah, there it is. I got her name on there, so that's it so far. I'm going to work on it until I get it all the way up, and that's going to take quite a few hours. And I don't know, we'll see. I'm right here. I got a couple more hours to go. Keep on plugging away. I don't want to turn it up. I don't want to turn it up too high. I'll try to get it in here. Carve this little part out. I'll start up here. I can't get into that very fine point up there, so I'll start back. I'll just score it lightly. So I need there, and then I'll just go back. Go slow. If your bit wants to wander on other sides of the grain, so you just want to take your time. Until you get it deep enough to where you want it. These bits cost about, $3 or $4. They're not much. But it helps to have a sharp bit. I can usually go a whole stick without changing a bit. And you don't want to push too hard. You don't want to heat the bit up, because it'll dull it a lot quicker. It gets hot. So just take your time and work at it. I'm going to go in here. Well, I got all of the carving around the transfer I put on there, and that's what I did there. And on the side of it, you can see this little groove going up on either side. I used this bit here. It's a cutter bit. I just went along, and just kept turning it and cut it out. And what I'm going to do there is around all of this, I got to carve down so that's raised up. And I did her name up here. You know, I might go a little bit deeper, but that's what it looks like for there. And what I was using, I can barely see this. It was this bit here. I don't know if you can see that. It's the smallest bit I have. It's an 005. Dremel makes it. And then when I'm going around each one, I don't want to use that. It's just too small. So what I went up to just a slightly larger bit. I get in between, like around all the letters. And I'm going to use the same bit to get it around here. I don't want to go too big, because then I'll start running into that. I got it. Then I'll go, after I get out from a little bit out from it, I go use a bigger bit, and then I go around and take all the bigger parts out. It's a lot easier. And then after that, I'll go back around each well, each letter and all of the other parts with like a grinding bit to shape them a little bit better and just make it a little cleaner look. But and then I'll have to grind this a little bit flatter. I don't want this as rough, so I'm gonna have to make that somehow make that flatter, more smooth, so it's not as rough. So I'll find a bit for that, and I guess, but I'll show you how I do it with this next bit, how I get real close to the parts. I'm going to try to keep this in frame as best I can to show you what I do. You just got to go real slow, that's all. I still have to go in just a little bit here. I'll go back with a different bit for that. So it's going to take some time to get all of this carved out all around everything. But I think it's going to look pretty cool. I went around everything with this bit, and just to get it away from everything, and then I'm going to use this bit. You can see the difference to carve away the majority here. Otherwise it would take a lot longer, so you just have to be careful that I have to go all the way down. But it still looks rough. I'm still going to grind this down a little bit thinner and clean them up. But this is what I got to do for the rest of this part here. I like the texture it's giving it, but I don't think I'm going to keep it that rough. I'm not sure right now. I might go by with another bit and smooth it out a little bit more, but for now, this is what I got, and that's about it. I got so far on it. Keep plugging away. Well, the process that I used to take that out went really quick. It only took about 2 hours to do that, and you can see it's kind of rough. You see right here? Well, what I'm doing now is I'm smoothing it out a little bit. You can see from here to here, and I'm using this bit. Let me get it around here. This bit here, it's a diamond bit, and you can use it on glass to etch glass, and I've used it on glass and it works really well. I'm just going really slow, you know, carving it out, just taking the roughness out of it. I didn't like it that rough, so I'm gonna smooth it out, and I get in between here. I still have to go around everything. I'm going to use another bit to go around everything and clean these edges up and bring them a little bit thinner and stuff, just to make it look a little bit better. So right now I have a little bit over 19.5 hours of work in it, and I've been keeping track of how much I've been working on it, and it's a little bit over 19.5 hours. So it's coming out pretty nice. I kind of like this. It looks really good. So I got a lot more work to go, and I'm going to start on some now so I can show you what it looks like, the process here. It kind of cleans up the edges too a little. This is going a lot quicker than I thought too, so I like this. It's just some of the higher bumps I just stay at. You don't want to turn it up too high. I don't want to turn the the Dremel up too high because it'll burn the wood or something. I don't want to do that. I just take my time and, you know, because you don't want to go too fast. I got it all sanded down, so now all I have to do is I'm going to work on the handle and I'm going to carve it in just a little bit because when I wrap it, it'll make it thicker, and I don't want it too thick for the person that's going to hold on to it. So I'll just take it down a little bit, and then I'll work on the top. This top part, I have to dish that out. And what I bought was I was at this it was like a festival. It's Waterfire Sharon, where you can look it up online, waterfiresharon.com, and they have fires on the river. And there's a guy there selling crystals, and here's his card there. And you can email him, and he sells. So he sold me this. You know, they had a bunch of different sizes and everything like this, and they had smaller ones, but I like this one. And they had some that were really clear, but I wanted some in there that were like this. And it was $21, but still, that's a really nice ball. I couldn't really find them, but check this guy out. It's at earthboundcrystals.com, or you can email him at mark@earthboundcrystals, and check him out. You got all kinds of crystals, minerals, fossils, and crafts. You know, there's the other side of his card. It's pretty cool. You know, he had a bunch of different ones there, and they are really sharp. I'm gonna have to look him up again. Maybe get another one for another project or something. But I'm gonna put that right on top, and I'm gonna clean that out and right on top. So well, I've been out here for about 20 minutes, and I'm using a stain on the raised parts that I want to stand out. The brush, I mean, it's just a little artist brush. It's kind of flat, a little bit flat, and the color I'm using, Minwax Dark Walnut 2716, and I just dip it in just the tip of the brush, and it pulls it up out of there, so I don't get too much on it. If I put too much on it, it'll run down around everything and where I don't want the stain to go. So it's going to take a little bit longer than I thought, but I like how it brings out the grain in the wood with some dark spots and stuff. But I'll be done here in about 20 minutes, or about 40 minutes, maybe half an hour, something like that. But alright, I got it all finished all the way down. Now the next thing I have to do is I'll tape this up, and I'll show you the process of putting a finish on. So let's get to that. Well, here I am. This is the stuff I use right here. It sprays on a lot better, and I always adjust the spray to go up and down. But sometimes you can adjust the spray to spray vertical or horizontal. So I just spray it, and I put a hook in there. I drilled it out for that hook so I could easily, like, you know, take it in the house and hang it up. And I will use this whole can of spray on this. I will spray it light the first couple coats, and then I'll just take it in the house and let it set, and then I'll just keep bringing it out and spraying it. So you just go just light, real light. You don't want to put it on too thick. Make sure it's even. It darkens the wood just a little. This will take probably about 20 to 30 seconds to dry. And the thing about this wood, it'll bubble a lot, so I'll have to go around and finish sand it a little bit. But so far so good. See, it's already, it soaks it up so fast. So I'll just keep going over it. I'll do this twice, then I'll take it in the house and let it dry, and then keep coming out and applying more coats. keep spraying it throughout the day until it's all done. Well, what I got to do now is take this out. It's all finished, all spray and everything. It's all done. Need a knife. The first time I never have a knife. The reason I tape this up is because I want, when I wrap it, I put a leather glue down, and it'll stick really good to it'll stick really well to this. If it had the finish on it, I was afraid it really wouldn't stick as well. So that's why I wrap it. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a small pilot hole for these for this little nail. Not the full length, just to get it in probably a quarter of the way on this side. And then the leather I'm going to use, the suede, is I'm going to use this, and I'm going to get it started. I'll put a little hole in this, and I'll put the nail through it, and I'll tack it in there. And then whenever you do something like this, you want to use a punch on top of that nail, because you can't hit that nail all the way down without damaging it. So this will cover up the top of the head. It'll hit it down nice and flush. And be careful, because you don't want to mar up the finish and everything that you've already done. So I got to get my glue, and I'll paint it on with a brush as I twist it up on there. So there we go. It dries pretty quick, so you gotta get on it. And my thumb ends up hurting like heck, because I'm twisting and pulling at the same time. This usually takes about a half an hour. That's not bad, but gives it a nice finish, nice grip, nice handle. And the spool ends up, the rest of the line ends up twisting, so you want to take it off the spool and tape it so you can relieve that twist a little bit. Kind of like a yo-yo when it gets tangled up. You just, you know, pull it tight as you want to go around, and keep adding the glue. I'm getting the last nail in there now. And there you have it. It's all wrapped up and nicely glued, so that going to hold on there for a long time. Now I have to put the ball on it, and how I'm going to do that is I'm going to get some silicone, 100% silicone. That will stick to that really well, and that ball, and that thing will not come out. It'll be a nice top. I think it's going to be really cool. Let's get on with that. Now I have a mark on here that I want to put that part down. So put that part down, twist it in there a little bit. You know, whatever pushes up around the sides, you can just wipe it right off. There you go. That sucker ain't going to go anywhere, but that's it right there. So we'll let that set for a little bit. I'll come right back. Well, here we are. See, I put the top on there, and that sucker's on there, and I had it in there such a way that when the light hits it, you get the most colors coming through it. That's going to look really nice out in the sunlight. And the wrapping, it's glued on there really well, and I tacked it in both spots. Some people say I should have wet the leather and then wrapped it up around there, and then when it dried it would have tightened it up, but I used a glue made from leather, and I made a darker leather to match the stain I put on the wood, and that's her name right there. That's Robin. And here's the rest of the stick. I think it looks pretty good. It took a total of 30 hours of carving. This is stick number 45. I got it carved in the bottom, and I got my name and date. I date and name and put the number on all the bottom, and I covered up with that. But that's it. I hope she likes it. And that's about it. That's all on to the next one.